morning, dear viewers. You're watching the Business Today show with me, Sakshi Batra. This is where I get you all the stock market opening action on the Lal Street. But first up, let's take a look at what's hot in the corporate and the financial world. Strong investor sentiment boosts global markets. The US markets closed strong with Dow Jones as well as S&P and Nasdaq posting gains of up to 2.5% after Trump signals progress on a possible Iran deal. Asia follows the rally with strong buying momentum, and what we've seen is that GIFT Nifty is indicating to a positive start back home in India. Oil prices fall to a two-month low with Brent crude slipping below $90 a barrel after hopes of a US-Iran framework deal lifted expectations of easing geopolitical tensions. Oil sensitives and export-linked stocks are now on the radar in today's trade. Vedanta's four demerged companies, aluminium, oil and gas, power and iron and steel, will now begin trading on NSE and BSE starting June 15, marking the completion of the group's major restructuring aimed at unlocking shareholder value. World Bank projects India's growth to moderate to 6.6% in FY27 from 7.7% in FY26, as higher energy prices have been weighing on the demand before rebounding later. It also sees global growth slowing to 2.5%, the weakest since the pandemic. An historic market debut for SpaceX today as it lists on the Nasdaq under ticker SPCX after record-breaking $75 billion IPO. The retail demand crossed $100 billion, setting up one of the biggest and most anticipated listings ever. We'll start off with the rupee breaking coming in on your screens, viewers. The rupee has opened at 95.37. This is stronger versus the 95.76 per dollar close that we had seen in yesterday's trading action as well. So strengthening action of almost 40 paise as far as the rupee is concerned. Remember, this is all to do with the falling crude oil prices, the positive momentum and risk on sentiment that's back globally on the street as well. And the rupee is also showing some strong reflection as well. Let me go across to our guest now, Mr. Chakri Rupee, the CIO of Equities at LGT Wealth, joining in on the program. Warm welcome to you, Chakri. Good to have you with us this morning. Well, it's definitely a good morning. We're finally hearing some more positives as far as the US-Iran war is concerned. Trump indicating a possible deal by this weekend and has also held off on the strikes as well. This definitely comes in positive. We've seen a reflection on the oil prices dipping below $90 a barrel. How do you see things moving on for the equity markets?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on your show. It's always good to be back. And yes, that's the most important news for India as oil prices falling. Because India imports majority of its oil and is creating a lot of strain on its FX balances as well as the fiscals. Oil below 85, $70 is as oil falls, the Indian economy strengthens. So this is clearly, if it sustains, it's clearly very positive for India.
Absolutely. How would you really look at the oil marketing companies and the upstream companies today? They will start to show the reaction. We are already seeing the pre-market open settle now positive. How would you look at the oil and gas space?
I'd still stay away from the refining companies as well, simply for the reason that oil is still at about, close to $90. And, it needs to come down significantly more before we start looking at those companies, because they still have a huge amount of both inventory losses as well as margin pressures.
Okay, still not too aggressive as far as the space is concerned. A watchful eye remains, even though today we could see a sharp uptick on the oil marketing companies as a reflection of the falling crude oil prices. But let's shift focus to the Tata Group, viewers. The Tata Sons board meeting is happening today amid focus on key business and leadership decisions within the group. Discussions are expected around loss-making ventures, Tata Sons FY26 numbers and the company's listing question as well. We have Business Today's Executive Editor Krishna Gopalan joining in for more on the same as well. Krishna, good morning. Good to have you with us. You've been tracking this extremely closely. What are you expecting as far as today's board meeting is concerned? Last time around, a lot of decisions were left untouched. What exactly can we expect today?
Yes, morning, Sakshi. It's really going to be a continuation of what took place the last time. Meaning we had the business heads making their presentations. there was some concern about the extent of losses in three key companies as we discussed earlier. So it's Air India, Tata Digital, and Tata Electronics. The more important part is the numbers for the financial year FY26 will be presented today. We have some indication of Air India's numbers because of the Singapore Airlines annual report. The airline, of course, holds at 25% in Air India, and they indicated that the losses would be upwards of $2 billion. But all in all, the numbers for that and some of the big ticket capex projects at Tata Electronics and Tata Digital will be monitored closely. To my mind, I think it will be a continuation of what took place the last time, like I said earlier. The other pressing issues do remain in terms of the reappointment of N. Chandrasekaran for another 5 years. That, of course, the term comes in next February, but I'm really expecting a large amount of focus to be on the financials.
Okay, fair point. Thanks a lot, Krishna. Keep an eye out on all the developments. We'll continue to touch base with you through the course of the session on Business Today as well as on India Today to keep getting us all those updates from the Tata Group board meeting as well. Let me now bring up to you, viewers, as far as the precious metals are concerned. Remember, there was a sharp fall yesterday and we've been tracking the stocks, but the metal stocks and as well as the gold and silver prices are inching higher in today's trading action after a sharp sell-off in last couple of sessions. You are seeing MCX gold that's up by 1400 rupees, now trading at about 1.5 lakh rupees per 10 grams. MCX silver is also up by 3800 rupees and now it's trading at 2.43 lakh rupees a kilogram as well. So after yesterday's sharp fall, we have seen a recovery of sorts in today's trading session as far as gold and silver is concerned. We'll continue to watch out for several stocks on the markets as well, the likes of Muthoot Finance and several jewelry stocks in the session as well. So that's something that we'll continue to focus on too. Let me quickly just take a word from Chakri and before going on to the next story. Chakri, just give me an understanding on equities versus gold and silver. How are you advising the clients? Where should the fresh money be going?
You know, equities clearly over the last 1 year, 2 years have not done that well from an Indian context, simply because of the uncertainties last year on tariff and this year on because of the oil prices. Indian economy continues to remain fairly resilient, corporates are resilient, and so if oil prices come down below $85, $80 as oil prices fall, I think we'll see an acceleration of earnings and therefore presents a good 20% upside over the next 6 to 12 months for Indian equities if oil comes to the $75 mark.
All right, okay, we'll continue to keep an eye out on the entire space as well, but let's also shift focus to what the government is announcing as far as high-speed diesel and petrol sales are concerned. The government is curbing the high-speed diesel petrol sales institutional for commercial users. They are barred from petrol buying. HSD petrol sales are restricted, at least when it comes to the bulk buying is being talked about at retail pumps for 90 days. Of course, retail pumps are also being asked not to sell over 200 liters per buyer. Fuel sales are also getting restricted and imposition across retail outlets as well. We are also looking at getting a word from one of our reporters on the same, but at the same time looking at the bulk sales that are being barred at the petrol pumps at this point in time again, and several steps are being taken. All right, we also have Shell Bhatnagar joining in on the program, and let's actually go across to Shell to try and understand what exactly is on his radar as well as far as the markets are concerned. Shell, 2 minutes to the opening of the trade today. The Gift Nifty and the markets in the pre-open already indicate to a sharp rebound from what we've been seeing over the last couple of sessions, all to do with the global sentiments turning positive, risk on back on trade. How are you looking at what's going to be on top of your radar?
Well, Sakshi, I'm looking at it just from the point of view you've mentioned. It's a strong start. Let's hope it gets better and better.
Absolutely. Chakri, I'm going to be asking you as well, if you could also highlight for us, where are you putting your fresh attention? Which are the pockets that are attracting your attention right now?
Well, I completely agree with Shailji in terms of, the market is clearly looking up, waiting for the oil prices to fall further. So against this backdrop, industrials, financials are the two sectors, I think, where we'll see the greatest uptick.
All right, okay, we just have about 6 seconds to go before the markets open up in the session. We are expecting a 23,400 and above opening. Yes, we have seen that. In fact, 23,430 odd levels right now on trade, 1% higher, 263 points higher as far as the Nifty is concerned. All the sectors are opening into the green, viewers. Look at the real estate sector. That's up the highest. You can see 1.8% of a move there. PSU banks up by 1.7% as well. The broader markets also inching about 1.5% higher in the session. I want to look at the Nifty bank here. That's where the focus is. Remember, it was the private banks that were supporting the market sentiments yesterday. They continue to hover about 1.3% higher in the session. The Nifty bank about 1.5% higher in the session as well. IT stocks, also pulling up a tad bit from yesterday's losses. You can see about 0.3% uptick coming in there. India VIX has fallen by almost 5%, coming in at 14.8 odd levels. So you could clearly see the broad-based buy that we are seeing on the markets right now. Shell, coming to you, which are the top stocks that you're watching out for right at the open? Shell, can you hear me? All right, I think there is some connection issue. We'll come back to Shell. All right, Shell, if you can hear me, what are the top stocks on your radar now? Okay, I think we'll just get back to Shell in a bit, but you can clearly see a lot of stocks that are buzzing in trade, viewers. The top gainers in front of you, HDFC Bank, Bajaj Finance, Trent is moving up in the session, whereas on the declining side, no surprise, ONGC is down by 1.4%. Tata Steel and Coal India, some of the other counters that are declining right now. Chakri, what would you focus on in terms of the key stocks there? We'll also focus on Vedanta, by the way, viewers. There's continued to be a news flow as far as the demerged entities debut is concerned now on the 15th of June. How would you look at this metal counter and, of course, what's going to be coming in? 2% higher for Vedanta.
I think, after the corporate action, I think Vedanta is well placed. And, but, we have to be cautious just about on the overall environment for metals as a sector. So, from that perspective, I'd rather focus on financials, industrials, and autos, which will see the greatest uptake with oil prices if they continue to fall.
So in the banking space, Chakri, private banks vis-a-vis PSU banks, where do you think the maximum benefit of the recent steps taken by the government and RBI will flow into by way of foreign money coming to India's debt market, the bond market finally looking up in space? How are you looking at which part of the banking space will be better to look at in that respect?
I would think that both the private as well as PSU will benefit from this move. Overall, the whole financial services as a space will benefit from this move. And it's always a welcome thing that, because foreign exchange inflows are vital for the country at this point in time, which has seen record outflows of both FDI as well as FII over the last 2 years.
Okay, viewers will shift focus to, of course, the ill-fated Air India crash. 1 year on, there's breaking news coming in. The Air India final report is now likely to take 2 more months. Remember, the deadline was supposed to be today to submit the final report of as to what really had gone wrong with the ill-fated airline. But top sources have told India today that the probe that has been heading into the right direction, and the expectation of the final report will be probably in the next 2 months. In fact, MOCA has been reviewing the timeline of the probe as well, and the agencies are mulling on issuing status report on Air India 171 crash as well. We are also waiting if we can get our reporter to join in to give us. Amit Bhardwaj is also now joining in to share a fresh perspective on the same. Amit, what are you hearing with regards to the timeline of the report? So many of the families have been waiting for far too long, a year on. They still do not know what really went wrong with the airline.
This was the exact day when Ahmedabad witnessed possibly one of the worst of aviation tragedies across the globe. People who were on board that flight, 242, 230 passengers, 10 crew, cabin crew, 2 pilots. Almost everybody died except for one person, Viswas Ramesh. The family of Captain Sumit Sabharwal, Clive Kunda, the families of the victims and the aviation sector across the globe is waiting for answers. And what we are learning, this is very important for our viewers, it might take at least 2 more months for the Aircraft Accident Investigations Bureau to put out the final report into the AI 171 crash. Now what we are learning is that AAIB investigation is heading in the right direction. The top sources have told me that it's being taken forward in a direction from where a comprehensive final report can be made and put out in public domain. They have also told me that nothing will be kept in dark, everything will be put out in the public domain, and I quote. So that's what I have been told. Along with this, there have been also a very specific statement that was made to me is that there were certain speculative reports that were done in the past month in the international press. Those are untrue. Now, what is the role of Ministry of Civil Aviation? I have been told by someone who is privy to these developments. This is another source telling India Today that the Ministry of Civil Aviation is continuously monitoring the progress of the AAIB's report that's being formulated, and it has been told to me that the top officials are monitoring that particular progress. However, it was underlined that the Ministry of Civil Aviation has maintained that they do not want to get any information, inside information, in regards to the investigation that's being carried out, as well as the report that's being compiled, because they want this investigation to continue to be in independent manner and fashion the way it has.
Right, viewers, we'll also shift focus to the monsoon expectations, and this time around concerns being raised on El Nino. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has now drawn attention to the concerns arising from El Nino conditions at the Niti Aayog Governing Council meeting. He's also urged the states to focus on water conservation and promote natural and organic farming, while also stressing self-reliance, investment-led growth and emerging sectors like defense, manufacturing and AI as well. He's also highlighted youth empowerment, women-led development through Lakpati Didis, and the need to tackle challenges like cyber fraud and drug abuse as well. With El Nino concerns in focus at the meeting, let me go across to Ashutosh Mishra for more on the same. Ashutosh, what have you picked up from the details of the meeting?
Coming from the Pacific, this El Nino situation will further weaken the monsoon, and clearly that will eventually lead to the flood-like situation, which is more possibly in southeastern parts of India, but at the same time drought-like situation in central part of India, in northern India, in western part. And when we see the drought-like situation, already there is a massive crisis triggered due to the fuel crisis across the globe. So that will lead to again the agriculture, the harvesting season, the sowing season. So larger impact of El Nino could only be seen on the agriculture sector. So agro crisis is going to be, and perhaps I have seen the Prime Minister during the Niti Aayog meeting has appealed people and the chief ministers from all across the states that water conservation is essential. They also need to adopt the diversify agriculture and the farming. So on those challenges, this is really going to be big time, and not only the Pacific region, but more importantly, the South Asia region is likely to take a big hit because of this one of the most severe El Nino situation.
Right, we also have both Shell Bhatnagar and Chakri waiting by, so we'll go across to Shell first. Shell, what has caught your attention in the first 10 minutes of trade?
Sakshi, I think there is a lot of strength that is coming into the market in early deals. Nifty Bank is obviously helping the Nifty up 750 points higher. Remember, it's the end of the week today, and any close above 23,400 will essentially mean that we'll open in strength on Monday. And if there is a positive development in West Asia plus strength in rupee, then we are out of a consolidation phase and looking at good times for Nifty as well as Nifty Bank.
Right, Chakri, I'll also come to you, and I want to understand from you, how are you looking at what we were just going through before this, El Nino conditions, the below monsoon rainfall as the key concerns that are emerging for India, and the inflationary aspect that will probably be the talk of the town for the second half of the current fiscal year? How would you look at it?
If the monsoon turns out to be weaker than expected, there is likely to be some amount of dent on rural income and therefore rural spend, and consumer discretionary items could be hit. But on the good part of the story is rice, wheat buffers are at very strong levels, And that should help, tide over some pricing pressures on essential commodities like rice and wheat.
Okay, we have another breaking news coming in, viewers, and this is with regards to US-Iran war and an MOU that has extended the ceasefire for another 60 days as per Axios report. Ceasefire includes Lebanon under the deal plan, and Axios nuclear talks also says that the nuclear talks will be held during these 60 days as well. The report also talks about how framework covers Iran's enriched uranium stock as well as the final nuclear action that depends on second accord as well. Those are some of the details that are coming in from Axios at this point in time, that the extension of ceasefire goes on for another 60 days. This would include Lebanon, during which time nuclear negotiations could also be held as well. Chakri, coming to you, how do you view this fresh development on the same 60 more days of ceasefire? That means there is more time given to finally, sign the deal on the MOUs, even though Donald Trump did say that he's very hopeful of the weekend coming up and the deal could be signed as soon as possible. But how are you looking at this extension now?
Clearly, it's an incremental positive to the markets and to the economies because, as a result of that, if oil supplies improve over the next 60 days, that will substantially bring down the inflationary pressures in India, and also lower inflation is always good for the economy and good for the markets.
Absolutely. When now let's look at the markets at this point in time. Of course, looking at about 1% higher for the Nifty at this point, and all the sectors still holding up very strong. We'll thank you, Chakri and Shell, for being with us. It's time for a short break right here on India Today Television. But don't forget to tune in back at 3 p.m. viewers when I get you all the closing action on the Lal Street as well.
Look, this investment Guru's tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight. Well said! Well said! Well said! SEBI and NSE advise, consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
Presented by National Stock Exchange.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's turning out to be a great start on the Lal Street. News just coming in. The US-Iran ceasefire has been extended by another 60 days. And overnight news that a transaction, a deal, a plan, a signing off is imminent between President Trump and the Iranian regime as far as the West Asian conflict is concerned. It's very positive for the markets. 250 points higher on the Nifty. We are well above the most recent resistance of 23,390, and this is very good news. Let's see how the markets progress. The advanced decline is very strong. 2,300 shares are in the green, 180 are in the red. Across the board, it's a very sharp move that's coming in. The auto index is the top gainer, 1.8% higher. From the mid-cap space, the Alpha 50 is in top shape, 1.7% up. The small cap index is 1.6% higher. In fact, all 20 indices are singing the gains. Let's look at another contributor, which is the pullers and draggers for the Nifty. It's banks. HDFC Bank is contributing 43 points to Nifty's total of 240. L&T contributing 33 points. L&T itself is 114 rupees higher, 3976. Reliance in strength, ICICI in strength, and a comeback from Bajaj Finance. I'll request the PCI to kindly show us the long-term chart of Bajaj Finance. This stock was in a very, very sharp sell-off zone, and it is now showing signs of revival after many, many weeks of just laying down quietly. So what you see is a stock below 200-day moving average and now at 890. Keep an eye out on this. Another move that's coming in and should be appreciated is Zomato Eternal. This is something that has corrected very sharply. 370 was what we saw in early October 2025, and from then on it's a 6-month, 7-month, 8-month sell-off that's happened at 240 today. Strength in terms of intraday gains up 2.4% higher, but overall you've seen a fairly sharp sell-off on Zomato. Okay, let's look at winners. NSE 500, strength coming back in NetWeb Technologies. Remember, NetWeb is a data center play. They are a hardware company that designs very, very high-end supercomputers and populates data centers. 5.8% higher. If you look at how the prices have moved, this was a correction which is now getting bought into. Himachal Futuristic 5% higher, another data center play, as also Motilal Oswal Financial Services. There is a UBS report which points to strength coming into Motilal Oswal Financial Securities, 5% higher. From the auto ancillary space, look at shocker maker Gabriel India, 1050, 4% higher. Remember, Gabriel also makes the sunroofs that go into your high-end cars. So, Kunalji joins us to look at the markets in strength. Namaste, a long time, Kunalji. A very warm welcome to you. How are the markets looking to you?
So market is looking at a very attractive level. First of all, good morning, Srilji. Nifty is trading at 23,400 level because of Trump's comment on Iran-US deal. Now, if Nifty sustain about 23,300, because since last 90 days Nifty has been facing strong resistance of 23,300. So, if Nifty is sustaining above this level, then we may see very good upside momentum even up to the level of 23,800. At present level, Nifty looks very attractive.
Okay. What are the top stocks that you are looking at in terms of strength?
Well, two stocks are there. First is Voltas, right now trading at 1293 on its daily chart. Stock has already taken the support at 1200 level. We may see some good upside momentum. First target would be at 1328, and if stock break this level, then one way rally would be there up to the level of 1540. So in terms of risk reward, Voltas looks very attractive. Now, this is not only for trading perspective, but also for portfolio creation as well. So one can keep SL at 1200. Stock looks very attractive. Multiple times stock has taken the support of 1200, and afterward even it went up to the level of 1500 levels. So Voltas looks very attractive. Second is it's a Khadim. The way stock is trading on its daily chart at 97.52. Khadim looks very attractive with strict stop loss of 94. If you talk about target wise, first target comes at 105, and if stock break this level, then 118 would be there.
Kunalji, which stock are you talking about?
Khadim India Limited. Khadim. Khadim India Limited. Yes.
Shoemaker. Okay. Fair point.
So one can enter into this stock with 94. SL target, first target 105, and afterwards second target would be at 118.
Fair point. Okay, let's shift focus to the market action. Let's look at strength in terms of volume. Look no further than Allied Blenders and Distillers Limited, ABDL. A very strong move coming in, 3% higher, 627. About 5 lakh shares have been traded. Bosch, in strength from the auto ancillary space, 3.7% higher. Let's look at Indigo, 3.5% higher, 4661. Let's look at RK Forgings, 2.9% higher, heavy volumes, 578. 1,17,000 shares have been traded. A view, Kunalji, if you have on City Union Bank, 3.2% higher and fairly strong volumes in the first 20 odd minutes. 33% of 5-day average is traded, about 7,35,000 shares.
So you're asking for City Union Bank, right, sir?
City Union Bank.
Yeah. Right now trading at 198. Uh, the way stock is trading on its daily chart, I think volatility is there. Stock opened at 197. Afterward, it went up to the level of 202. Now trading at 198. So volatility is there. I think one should wait for this volatility to get neutralized. Till that, if you have position in this stock, you can hold this down, but not suggesting to add new positions at present level.
Okay, 23,400 is where the bulls are battling the bears, and there is a fresh record high, ladies and gentlemen, on Federal Bank. So as I have been telling you, strength across the board. Look at Federal Bank, City Union Bank, even Nifty Bank is now 720 points higher, 55,900. That's a very, very sharp breakout that's coming in. Let's also look at some other gainers in the markets. Kunalji, what are you observing in terms of strength in the auto space?
Well, if you talk about also auto space right now, Nifty Auto is trading at 26,162, up by 1.5%. Many stocks are there like Maruti is up by 2%, M&M is up by 0.5%, even the Bosch Limited is up by 3.5%. Hero MotoCorp is up by 2%, but one stock is there which looks very attractive. It's M&M. Since last many days, I've been like observing these stocks. Right now, stock is trading at 3020 level. Now, this is a perfect level where one can get into the stock for a portfolio creation as well and for short term to medium term as well. Because since last many days, stock has been trading with a strong support of 2,900. Right now, stock is trading at 3,020. So risk reward is in favor for creating a long position only. We may see some kind of replicate momentum which we observed earlier as well. So right now stock is trading at 3020. One can get into the stock with fixed stop loss of 2,900. If you talk about target wise, first target would be at the 3,400, and if stock break this level, then one way rally would be there even up to the level of 3,800 from our side. So M&M looks very attractive from the present level, and yes, from two-wheeler, I think the Hero MotoCorp looks very attractive on its daily chart. Right now stock is trading by 2%, 4,923. The way stock is trading on its daily chart, one can get into the stock because since last many days stock is maintaining its strong support of 4,800. So one can get into the stock with strict stop loss of 4,800. If you talk about target wise, first target comes at 5,120, and afterwards even it will march towards the level of 5,472. So Hero MotoCorp from two-wheeler and from four-wheeler, I think M&M looks very attractive on daily chart.
Okay, a view that you might want to offer on Bajaj Finance.
Well, if you talk about Bajaj Finance, right now trading at 892, up by 2.5%. I think the way stock is trading looks very attractive because since last many days stock is trading with strong support of 860 level. Not only this stock is also taking the support of its 20 days moving average on its daily chart. So yes, some bounce back would be there from the present perspective. One can get into the stock at the present level with stop loss of 860. If we talk about target side, then 913 is our first target. If stock break this level, then one way rally would be there up to the level of 990. So Bajaj Finance looks very attractive at present level with strict stop loss of 860.
Right. We'll call it time here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great start to the market. Kunalji, before we let you go, a final view that you may want to offer on Muthoot Finance, 2976, 3% higher.
So sorry, sir, what stock you said?
I think there is a major issue on the link today. Muthoot Finance, can you hear me, Kunalji?
Yes, Muthoot Finance, yes. Right now, sir, stock is trading is 2976. If we talk about it's a daily chart, the way stock is trading on its daily chart, I think further upside would be there. Daily chart looks very attractive. Stock has been trading on its 20 days moving average. Not only this, we have been observing some gap up opening during yesterday's trading session. Stock took the support of its 2,800. Now this support, earlier it was a strong resistance, now this resistance has become a good support for the counters. So anybody want to get into this stock at present level, one can with strict stop loss of 2800. Now, no doubt asset is at little bit lower level, but nothing to worry about this asset, because we may see very good upside momentum in the counter up to the level of 3400 to 3690. So this reward is in favor of creating a long position only. Muthoot Finance looks very attractive, give confidence and conviction as well.
Okay. Thank you, Kunalji, for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the Nifty. Now, the first about 20 minutes of trade have lapsed and the day's high is 23,455. We will wait for the first half an hour to end and then look at the day's high and the day's low for the half an hour. If the Nifty trends below the day's low, then you obviously will see the gap trying to be filled up. And if it goes higher, then you are looking at 23,525, 23,550. Let's hope that the markets close above 23,450 today. That's more than enough. Thank you for watching. Stay glued to Business Today Television.
Presented by National Stock Exchange.
Look, this investment guru tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight. Well said! Well said! Well said! SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
India is young and the Nifty is younger still. We are at the cusp of greater glory and phenomenal wealth creation. Catch India's magnificent rally and make it a part of your booming portfolio. Look out for the next set of multi-baggers at BTTV.